Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
Oh, the Yankees are still in town. Middle game of a 3-game series. Oh, no fighting now. It's the Big Apple against America's finest. You know who's going to win that one here in San Diego. Jed Jerko tuning up his stroke. Home run last night. It's been over a month homerless for Jerko. Is he back with that charging bat of his? The Padres certainly hope so, as we welcome you to Petco Park in downtown San Diego. Second game of this 3-game weekend series. A sellout crowd here to see the Yankees and the Padres. Look at those records. The Padres are 5 wins less than the Yankees as we go into play tonight. Mark Sweeney and Tony Gwynn. And last night, the Padres with a victory, 7-2. They're now 9-5 since the All-Star break. They're getting great pitching, but how about 3 home runs?
Yeah, they're starting to hit the ball. And I thought last night Jed Jerko had talked about how well he's been swinging and not getting any results. But these 3 swings, they're all very similar. Logan Forsythe on the left, Jed Jerko in the center, Will Venable on the right. All 3 of them get to that hitting position, and they swing the knob, and the barrel will follow. And all 3 at contact. Forsythe and Jerko let the ball get a little bit deeper. Will got fooled a little bit by a changeup, but he was on the path. And when you do that, you're gonna be able to put the ball squarely in the play and have some success.
Venable with his 13th home run to match his career best. He's on pace to hit 19 home runs this year. Well, on the mound is Tyson Ross. If he can pitch like he did the last 2 games on the road, are the Padres going to be smiling down the stretch?
Yeah, you're exactly right, Dick. And he's been unbelievable, and it's all about consistency for Tyson Ross. He has been dominant. Only 3 hits last start, 7 strikeouts. It's all about fastball command early and that put-away slider. It's been outstanding. His consistency is what he has to do moving forward.
So it's Tyson Ross on the mound against Ivan Nova in the second game of this 3-game series. Well, it's always fun to put a microphone on a manager or a coach or a player. Who better with the Padres than Mark Kotze? And Laura McKeeman, we're going to allow you to eavesdrop with her on what Kotze does before the game begins. Oh, my.
I got 7 off wet patty.
Padres fans everywhere love honoring Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn, and he's in our broadcast booth this evening. Welcome back, everyone, to Petco Park. I'm Laura McKeeman. Game 2 of a 3-game set between the Padres and the Yankees is on the way. And hey, we've got a special treat for you here. Sometimes it's always fun to hear what players say during batting practice, and who better to listen to than Mark Kotsay. The veteran often offers up some advice, but he can also give you some humor, and he certainly did this. Take a listen to our Geico quote of the game.
I'm going to go eat this pepper and see how many teammates I can get to burn their mouth. So, generally, when we have these Serrano chilies, we win.
Oh,
you're in?
that is a loaded question.
Are you in, Doc? Huh? Are you in?
I'm in.
All right, I'll finish it if you get half. Just a small bite, Doc. Go ahead. Don't be afraid. Come on.
To edit this.
Come on. You'll be all right, Doc. We'll stand around. I'll finish it for you, all right?
Hey. Better get one. Oh, it's starting to heat up. You know how it starts to progressively
burn on the way down, too?
Burn. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
What a beautiful garden out there.
Those peppers are incredibly spicy. Make sure you listen in all game long. We'll have more from Mark Kotsay mic'd up earlier today. Well, coming up this evening, we've got a great one for you. Yonder Alonso has been hot in the second half offensively. See what he can do against Ivan Nova. And also, it's going to be Dick Enberg, Mark Sweeney, and Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn in the booth.
Well, it's a city that cheers a Padres team that relishes a good fight. Last night with sellout attention focused on a rare visit by the Bronx Bombers. It was the Padres who pounded out 14 hits and Game 1 laurels. But New York is not accustomed to losing, so tonight, Padres starter Tyson Ross best be ready for a stiff challenge. The fight resumes. The Padres, the Yankees, Game 2. And the Padres have taken the field. They're wearing the blue tops tonight on this beautiful Saturday early evening in San Diego. Tyson Ross takes the hill. The park is packed. Petco Park to its capacity last night. A sellout of 44,124, the second largest crowd of the season going back to opening day as we look at the Yankees starting lineup for Joe Girardi. Brought to you by Hyundai. Gardner again will lead it off. You'll notice right away two names missing, Derek Jeter and Ichiro. Cano's there, the All-Star. Soriano will hit third. Granderson the cleanup. Overbay at first. Eduardo Nunez at short. Lillibridge, a former Cub, picked up by the Yankees this year, bats 7th. Then Chris Stewart, the catcher, and Nova, the pitcher. And we're underway. First pitch, low and inside, ball 1. 94 on his first delivery. Tyson Ross. The big story with Ross in those 2 outstanding efforts on the road was the fact his control was outstanding, along with the tough to hit. 14 innings, he allowed only 5 hits and walked only 3. He starts out, falls behind Gardner 2-0.
This Yankee lineup is one that you want to get ahead.
There's a strike called by Scott Berry. Gardner, the fastest of the Yankees. Chopper to third. Headley, do or die, got the short hop and threw him out. Nice play. That was a challenging first out for Chase Headley as we look at the Padres defense. Brought to you by Aramco Mortgage, Forsyth, Amarista, Venable. A new look outfield alignment again. Headley at third, Cabrera at short, Jerko at second. Alonso at first with Hundley behind the plate for Tyson Ross. And just as the Yankees are without Ichiro and Jeter in the starting lineup, Carlos Quinton misses another game for the Padres. He's played last Tuesday against the Reds.
Well, for the scouting reporter Tyson Ross, it's all about confidence, and it is rising. The last 2 starts, outstanding job, and continue to develop. This is a young right-handed arm. It's all about fastball command so he can get to that devastating slider that we saw in Arizona.
Robinson Cano, the All-Star. Those numbers, 21 homers and 70 runs batted in, leading the Yankees. There are a lot of startling statistics, but one of them is the fact that they've hit only 4 home runs in the last 17 games, the Yankees. The Padres got 3 last night. And the right-handed hitters, of course, they have a couple of right-handed hitters not able to play because of injuries, but the right-handed hitters, and I'm not making this up, folks, in 61 games, Yankee right-handed batters have hit 3 home runs.
Yeah, that's not going to get it done. And you look up and down the lineup, and not slighting any of these guys, this isn't a normal lineup for the Yankees. I mean, what we're expected at watching baseball for years. Soriano a pickup.
And that's why they try to get a little power right-handed bat back in the Yankee uniform. 3-1 put out, the first 2 outs, ground ball outs for Tyson Ross. Well, Granderson, Jeter, and Teixeira last year combined hit 82 home runs. If you want to put A-Rod in there, it would be an even 100 home runs last year. This year, including A-Rod, 5 home runs, 100 down to 5, and you wonder why they're struggling a bit.
Well, this is a team that usually hits 200 and so home runs a season. And, you know, coming into yesterday's game, I believe it was 81 or 91 home runs. No A-Rod, no Teixeira, no Jeter.
91 home runs, you're right.
And so, and, you know, we talked last night about CC Sabathia's record being 99 going into last night's game, and that's a big reason why they haven't put the runs on the board like they normally do.
Free swinging Soriano, and that's a good breaking pitch.
And when you don't put runs in on offensively, it puts a lot of pressure on your starting pitching staff. And we've talked about that with the Padres. As you can see, this devastating slider. Good break.
Struck him out. An impressive first inning for Tyson Ross. It'll be Cabrera, Headley, and Alonso coming up for the Padres. Brought to you by your San Diego County Lexus dealer, inviting you to test drive a luxurious Lexus automobile today. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. And by Farmers Insurance. Contact your local agent at 888-96-FARMERS. That magnificent statue of Mr. Padre, Tony Gwynn, out in the park at the park, and that is really packed with fans tonight as we take a look at Bud Black's starting lineup, brought to you by Toyota. Cabrera with 4 hits last night will lead it off. Then Headley, Alonso up to third. He's just a point under 300 now to lead the Padres. Venable cleanup, a rare time for him in that 4th slot. Then Jerko Amarista 6th. Forsythe with that home run last night. 7th, Nick Hundley behind the plate batting 8th. And then Tyson Ross against Ivan Nova. Nova, in many ways, has the same build as the Padres starter, Tyson Ross. Not quite as tall. He's 6'4". But angular, 225. He, too, is 26 years of age. CC Sabathia, the left-hander, the veteran last night. Worked 5 2/3 innings, gave up 5 runs and 11 hits. 3 walks, and the walks hurt him early. And this is a team, the Yankees, who walk fewer batters than any major league team. 2-1 now to, or 1-2 rather, to Cabrera.
A frustrating year for CC. You could tell from the standings for the New York Yankees. They're not where they want to be. If they need to be there, it has to be on CC's shoulders to set the tone. Joe Girardi there, the manager of the Yankees. He understands. He's gone through a lot of adversity this year.
And an impressive strikeout as Cabrera goes down against Nova.
Talking about a good breaking ball. Ivan Noah, that breaking ball, 12-6. Shadows in the building makes it a little difficult, but it's both sides.
Yep.
You got to deal with it. You got to lock in, especially your concentration level early in the counts.
And for the first 2-3 innings, advantage to the pitchers. Chase Headley. Especially the breaking balls coming through those shadows are tough to pick up, aren't they, Tony?
Yeah, it is. Right now where pitcher's standing in sunlight, you got shadows all the way to home plate.
Ground ball sharply into left field for a base hit. Well, didn't bother Chase Headley as he goes the opposite way. That's the formula that was so successful for the Padres last night. Hitters going to the opposite field.
It's a little like a changeup running away. Stays back on it nicely. Cars it in left field for a base hit.
And that'll bring up Yonder Alonso. Alonso in a little hitting streak of 6 consecutive games. And since the break, hitting .404 to raise his average. 299. And shortchanged him 3 points. He's at 299.
You can see from our Fox Track Southland technology, he's going to work that outside corner, especially the left-handers, with that movement. Try to get to that breaking ball with 2 strikes.
Alonso on base percentage since the break is right up there, second best in the entire major leagues. Fouls that one. It's 1-1. Let's check the defense for the Yankees, brought to you by Hyundai. Outfield of Soriano in left, Gardner in center, and Granderson moves from left field over to right for the game tonight. Lillibridge in the starting lineup. Nunez then moves to shortstop for Jeter. Cano and Overbay on the right side, and Stewart behind the plate. Well, Jeter obviously was not at 100% last night.
No.
Struggling with that bad ankle.
You get it. He wants to be in there. He wants to help get these guys going in the right direction.
Changeup floats way upstairs. 2-1.
Well, if you get into a situation, and the Padres had this with Yonder Alonso, Jed Jerko, they had to come off the disabled list really when they didn't have enough at-bats on the rehab assignment. I think that goes true for the Yankees. They expect to win every single night, and you got to have Derek Jeter out there, but you have to have a healthy Derek Jeter.
Just to reinforce your point, remember, fans, when both Jerko and Alonso were injured before the All-Star break, the Padres were in the throes of that 14 losses in 15 games, so they rushed them back into the lineup. Now, Alonso's recovered his swing much quicker than Jerko, but hopefully Jerko's home run last night will awaken his game. Ground ball into right field, and he's got a 7-game hitting streak. Holding at second is Headley. And the Padres have themselves a good-looking hitter in Yonder Alonso.
And one of the reasons why Alonso's going to come quicker, his stroke's going to come quicker, is because he's got a little bit more experience. And you use that experience to kind of get to where you want to go. Where in Jed's case, this is his first time through. He's still trying to figure out who he is and, what guys are trying to do to him. So it'll probably take him a little bit longer. But like I said, he said yesterday, hey, I've been swinging the bat better. I just didn't have anything to show for it. And I agree with that. I think he is swinging the bat a whole lot better. And eventually, he's going to start hitting some balls like he did last night.
Here's a man who's been swinging it better in the last couple of weeks, hitting .395. 13th home run last night. Off speed strike.
Well, to your point, Tony, and thinking about Jed Jerko, when you hear those comments saying, you know what, I had some productive outs, I thought I was swinging the bat well, that shows the type of player that you have. You don't worry about guys that go out there and understand they're going to make outs, but they're productive outs.
Ground ball out last night that drove in a run in the first inning for Jerko, and then the home run in his final at bat.
You can sense when you're feeling good, the timing's good, you're seeing pitches, staying in the strike zone. Jed Jerko's doing that more every single night, and he's going to get hot.
Chopper to second. They'll go for two. There's one. Back to first base. Not in time. Hustling up the line, Venable, as Headley goes to third. 2 outs. Runners at the corners for Jed Jerko.
That just looked slow to me. I mean, it's a ground ball right at Cano. He gives a strong feed to Nunez, but Venable beats the throw to first base. And him hustling down the line gives. I mean, look, this ball's right at Cano. Firm throw to Nunez, firm throw to first. Venable just beats it out. And now, you have some 2 outs under here. You get at least an opportunity to possibly put a run on the board.
Curveball for a strike. Last night, Jerko went straight away to center field.
And this had to feel good because he's been fouling balls off, taking fastballs for strikes, getting out of the strike zone. He's starting to lock it in, and I think last night, then he really took a big breath and said, okay, now it's coming.
Home run total is on his back, 9 for the season. Checks his swing, ball in the dirt. He went around, says first base umpire Marquez. 0-2. Padres with 3 consecutive series wins at Milwaukee, winning 3 out of 4, 2 out of 3 at Arizona, taking 2 of 3 from the Reds. And a win tonight would make it 4, their best of the season. Struck him out. Breaking balls. Got Jerko. So the Padres leave runners at the corners. No score after 1.
On the way, Darren Balsley talking about his starting pitcher Tyson Ross, saying that his slider used to be an escape pitch for him to get a strikeout, but now that he's feeling better with his fastball command and knows that pretty much anytime he wants to, he can throw that fastball for a strike, he's able to use the slider. Dick?
Anderson first ball hunting, and Amarista with a catch. Continue.
Able to use that slider outside the strike zone and have success in that situation. He knows that getting those strikeouts outside the strike zone with the slider is something that was crucial in his last start. He'll look to do more of that this evening, and Darren Balsley emphasized getting ahead in the count and really throwing that fastball where he wants it will be key for Tyson Ross and making hitters chase that slider.
Well, it's a common theme from Darren Balsley, isn't it, that he wants his pitchers to hit that outside corner at the knees.
Fastball down and away, commanding your fastball. I think Tyson Ross has done it both sides of the plate. And you can see, we talked about earlier, the confidence that Tyson Ross has had. Hopefully that translates into consistency.
There it is. He aims for that low outside corner. Misses. Ball one to Lyle Overbay, the veteran first baseman. One of the acquisitions this year of the Yankees with all the injuries. Has a dozen home runs. Well traveled. Now 36 years of age. High school in Centralia, Washington.
It's amazing how both starters are so similar. Tall, like to throw the fastball away. You got a good off-speed pitch.
3-1, first 3-ball count for Tyson Ross. One out, bases empty here in the second. Another fly ball for Amarista. He takes care of the first 2 outs here in the second. Time for a Fox Sports 1 game break. All right, so the Rockies fall behind the Pirates, who are in first place in the National League Central.
Well, they just came off a big series against St. Louis, winning 4 of 5 games. You don't usually hear a 5-game series. They're making up games for the rainouts. That was a big series for Pittsburgh. They continue their great play in the Central.
Eduardo Nunez with the bases empty, 2 outs for the Yankees. Nunez had a big blow last night in the second inning, a RBI double. Later scored himself on a couple of ground outs.
Well, I think that's when the shadows come into play. Those odd balls, especially the moving fastball.
Anything with movement. I think it was that close to him, but that fastball tailing in on your hands.
And of course, they paint the next
of
one,
course,
96 on
right,
the edge.
Right down the middle.
Your spikes are a little light in that batter's box after that.
Absolutely.
But a high bounce is going to make it interesting, but Ross has the arm to throw him out. 6 up, 6 down for Tyson Ross. No score. of the game. San Diego fans and lots of SDs and Padre gear in evidence tonight. Big house, another sellout. It's been sold out for well over a week. And we expect all the seats to be occupied again tomorrow. Hope you have your tickets. There might be a scattered few that are still available. Amarista leads off. And don't forget, the homestand doesn't end with the Yankees. After an off day on Monday, the Orioles, high-powered Baltimore Orioles, are here for Tuesday night and Wednesday afternoon. 1-1 to Amarista. Starts tonight at 2:63.
I know the local boy, Adam Jones, is very excited to get to San Diego.
Yep. Did you try to recruit him?
I did. He was one of my first recruits. And he signed to come to San Diego State, and, of course, got drafted in this supplemental round by the Seattle Mariners and signed with them. And got later traded to Baltimore, and he blossomed as an outfielder. Because I recruited him, he was a shortstop.
Amarista loops that one to left. Fair ball into the corner. Amarista on the go. And he's into second base easily. Leadoff double for Amarista. Again, going to the opposite field. Is this by design?
I hope so. That's a hanging breaking ball, and you got a good look at it because he didn't try to pull it. Most guys see that hanging breaking ball, try to pull it. He stayed behind that ball nicely and carved it down the left field line.
Yeah, you continue to see some adjustments from Alexi Amarista, shortening his swing. I think that consistency is going to come behind that.
Well, the Padres with a chance here to pick up a run and the early lead in the second. Forsythe squares and takes a strike. Well, the statistics don't lie in terms of the Yankees, whether they score first or their opponents score first. When they score first, they're 39-11. But when the opponents score first, the Yankees are 17-41. Padres scored first last night. Breaking ball a little high. Well, apparently plate umpire Barry did not call that a try on the first square by Forsythe. Scoreboard says 2-0.
I think he did call that.
I thought he did.
I was fussing in my mind. I was fussing. I didn't think I thought he pulled it back. But.
So it's 1-1, and now 1-2 to Forsythe. Trying in this situation to at least get that runner over to third with one out.
You can see our Fox tracks by Southland Technology right on that edge. Fastball command. Missed with the breaking balls.
Pickoff move, and diving back safely is Amarista, helped by Glenn Hoffman, his third base coach.
Well, Dick, I think they heard you about the stats of scoring first with the pickoff at second base. Just trying to keep him close. See Alexi coming in behind him, and Nunez.
Strong throw, too, by Nova. He didn't just lob it to second. He was firm, giving Nunez a chance to maybe get Amarista.
Opposite field, but slicing into the crowd. Good contact.
Well, you take your shots going to right field, trying to move the runner. Now with 2 strikes, you got to battle.
Yep. A lot of times, because you tried to do the right thing, things usually kind of work out for you. You know, you can see on that last swing, he's trying to hit the ball to the right side. He's trying to get Amarista over to third base.
Up the middle, that should get the job done. And shortstop Nunez throws out Forsythe. Amarista alertly makes it over to third. It's up to Nick Hundley to try to get the Padres the lead.
Well, we talked about Logan Forsythe trying to get him over. You also have to have a good read, and Alexi Amarista does a nice job reading it off the bat and also getting in that throwing lane. Watch the read by Alexi Amarista. Nunez thought he had a chance. He didn't have a throwing lane, and he takes the out at first. Nice job by Logan Forsythe and Alexi Amarista.
So the infield for the Yankees, Lillibridge, Nunez, Cano and Overbay draw in, and Hundley now can get the Padres in front with a long out. Nick with 8 home runs. Medium deep fly ball can get the job done here. Amarista with good speed at third.
Fastball in.
1 ball and 1 strike.
You can see Nova trying to dive that fastball with movement down in the zone. Try to induce Nick Hundley to stay on the ground with the infield in.
Ground ball right at the shortstop. That won't get it done. And Nunez throws out Hundley. Amarista forced to hold at third. Well, the Padres in the first 2 innings have gotten a man 90 feet away from a score, but now it's up to Tyson Ross to try to help himself.
Ball's hit right on the button, just right at the shortstop Nunez.
So the Padres in the first 2 innings 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. Ross has 2 hits in 13 at-bats this year. That's his lifetime total, 125. Not many at-bats in Oakland. And he gets a curveball for a strike.
And I'm not surprised at the curveball, because if you look at some of the tapes with Tyson Ross swinging the bat, he knows how to swing the bat.
Well, you're right, because back earlier in the year when they were trying to get him to flatten his follow-through out, you can see he's got an idea.
And another breaking ball strike, 0-2.
Well, Nova has an idea that
yes,
he's pretty good too. So he can throw him a couple breaking balls, get ahead.
Probably going to see another one.
And a strikeout, his 3rd strikeout. So the Padres get a chance. A leadoff double by Amarista, but unable to get him home from third.
Mariano Rivera in his farewell tour. So today in our AT&T Twitter poll question, we're asking you about the gifts that Rivera has received along the way. And of course, yesterday the Padres giving him bicycles. But what's the coolest retirement gift for Rivera other than those so far? In Cleveland, they gave him a framed gold record of Metallica's Enter Sandman. In Minnesota, the chair of broken dreams, rocking chair made from broken bats. Oakland, a surfboard, cowboy hat, and cowboy boots. In Texas, and a certain airline dedicated one of their 757s to Mariano, bears his signature in number in pinstripes. Vote on Twitter with hashtag whatever your choice is and Rivera in front of that, and we'll check the updated results later in the game. But guys, some great gifts for a very deserving man.
Indeed, and I know the one he liked so far before the gift from the Padres last night, but I won't bias your voting out there. We'll tell you after your votes come in, which one do you think he appreciated most?
I tell you what, Second one, the chair. They could have made, what, 150 chairs?
With all the bats that you broke in his career? Oh, man.
Brent Lillibridge, 6 hits and 30 at bats as a Yankee. 29 years of age. The Braves, White Sox, Red Sox, Cleveland, and the Cubs as a free agent this year in spring training, and available for the Yankees with A-Rod out of the lineup. Watch out. That check swing line drive. Well, the Padres gift, there's no question. Mariano deeply appreciated it because it's the one time that not only he was honored, but his wife and his children will also be able to enjoy the gift because they were 5 of those wonderful bicycles. You can see the big smile. He liked the idea the whole family will be able to ride together. Right, 3. Tyson Ross has his second strikeout. Lillibridge caught looking. Let's see, you didn't announce your retirement during the last season, did you?
Well, when I decided to retire, it was like right after the All-Star break. So a lot of places I went, Houston, Atlanta.
Did you get gifts?
They gave you nice.
Remember
nice
anyone
gifts.
that was really a special
in Houston, they gave me a belt buckle. They had
cowboy?
and I didn't wear them, but sure looked nice. They engraved my name on it and put my number. It was pretty nice.
They didn't give you an oil well down there in
No,
Houston?
no oil well. No.
I tell you another funny story about Houston is I was with St. Louis Cardinals with Ozzie Smith, and he had to do it. So he went out to get his gift, and they gave him a #1 cowboy boots. And it was a pregame ceremony. He came back in. I said, "You got to wear them to bring out the lineup card out." And he wore them, and he put it on the front page. He didn't do the flip going back out there, but I tried to encourage him to do that.
You walk out there bow-legged. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Chris Stewart, the catcher. Had a couple of hits in the game last night and 3 at-bats, a couple of singles. Briefly a part of the Padres organization a few years back, just a couple of games. Went to the Yankees from San Francisco last year. The Giants got that right-hander George Cantos in the 1-for-1 swap.
Last year, Russell Martin being the starting catcher for the Yankees, he went to Pittsburgh, making a good change over in Pittsburgh. But Chris Stewart's done a nice job with his pitching staff. Talked to
3.
Talked to some people over in New York, and he's done a nice job catching. But offensively, you're missing that weapon that Russell Martin brought with the home runs he had.
Tonight's Cold Hard Fact is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. The Yankees have scored the fewest runs in interleague play this season, averaging under 2.5 runs per game. Just to make you Yankee fans feel worse, the Red Sox lead that category with 5.8 runs per game. Interleague play. Nova does not have a major league hit. 0 for 7. And he's quickly down on the count, 2 strikes, as Ross is a pitch away from striking out the side.
Fastball away.
And the Padres have a pair of right-handers, both young, 26 years of age, Andrew Kastner and Tyson Ross. That'll do it. He takes care of business himself. Mark Grant will be back from vacation, would say, uno, dos, adios. Diego presents Padres Baseball, brought to you by Sequan Casino. Real friendly and real close. By Del Mar. Wednesdays are free and easy for Diamond Club members at Del Mar. And by the Aramco Group. Purchase, refinance, reverse. The Padres come up in the bottom of the third. No score in the game. Cabrera, Headley, and Alonso. Padres with a couple of hits in the first inning, 2 singles. Headley and Alonso couldn't score. Leadoff double by Amarista against Ivan Nova in the second inning. So they got a hit in every inning last night in that 7-2 win, 14 hits. So that's 11 straight innings against Yankee pitching. They've had at least one base hit. Cabrera struck out swinging the first time.
Well, Everest having a tough time picking up that breaking ball by Ivan Nova. He's got a good 12-6 break.
Well, the sun is still bathing the first base side, right field stands. It now has covered the center part of the diamond and left field. And the hitting backdrop now is pretty well in shadows and complete shadows and shade. Maybe they'll make it a little easier for the hitters.
Well, the excuses leave the building now. You got to start to compete.
Ground ball weakly to the shortstop Nunez. Laura McKeeman, you have something on Everett Cabrera?
Well, yes, I do, Dick. I spoke with Bud Black about Cabrera after his 4-hit night last night, and he said, hey, one of the keys that we've worked on with Everett is cutting down on the strikeouts, and they really feel like they've seen the quality of his at-bats improve throughout the season. He feels he's put forth great effort becoming that real leadoff guy and successful in that area. Another thing he said, too, that they've really tried to work on is not expanding the strike zone as much, and that's what you saw last night against Sabathia. He was really working the bottom of the zone. Everett did a good job of making him bring the ball up. And another thing Bud Black mentioned is the 2-strike hits being key for Everett Cabrera.
And of course his hitting from the right side has been extraordinary, as Headley singled to left field his first time. All 4 of his hits were right-handed last night. He's batting right-handed, 365 for the season. He's one of the best in the entire National League against left-handed pitchers.
Yeah, just shortening that stroke. That's, you know, you're working the count, you're seeing as many pitches as you can, you're getting balls down in the zone and just trying to shorten your stroke, put it in play.
1-2 to Headley.
But the adjustment for Everett Cabrera this year has been the consistency of playing every single day. Last year, they had to pick some spots. They had to put him in some comfortable spots to get that, because for a younger player, they don't want to hurt his morale and hurt his mental state, but he's done a nice job this year.
That's going to be a tough play for the infield, and the throw to first is in time. Nunez able to get Headley. Boy, Nunez, the last 5 outs, 4 of them have been to the shortstop. Headley not quite at full speed. That's been obvious the last couple of games.
Now, no offense to Derek Jeter, I don't think he makes this play what we saw last night. Edward Nunez coming in and making a very athletic play on the run. Good pick by Lyle Overbay at first base.
The key to that play was Nunez did not let that ball bounce again. Headley bounced that thing at home plate, and he came flying in and caught it on the way down, and strong enough throw over to Overbay at first to get the out.
Alonso singled the first time, and with the third baseman playing not only deep but over toward shortstop, Lillibridge, he thought he might be able to pick up a base hit with 2 outs.
I don't understand this play. I don't. With 2 outs, and I'm sorry, but
you take a potential home run away from yourself.
You're a gap hitter. You're coming off a 7-game hitting streak. Continue to swing the bat. With 2 outs, you have to get in scoring position.
And a ground ball, fair ball. And Overbay tosses to Nova. The Padres go in order for the first time. We've completed 3. No score.
To bolt up. Tune in August 28th on Fox Sports San Diego for Chargers Insider. Each week, join our own Laura McKeeman as she talks with Coach Mike McCoy on his game plan. Plus, the crew breaks down the X's and O's. Charger Insider premieres August 28th on Fox Sports San Diego.
First pitch swinging is leadoff hitter Brett Gardner, who grounded to third. A high hopper to Headley, who made a good play the first inning on the short hop. Tyson Ross through the lineup. 9 up, 9 down. And now the top of the fourth inning. Hey, the Boomer is here from Point Loma.
Saw Boomer earlier in the locker room today.
David Wells. And of course, it's such an unusual accomplishment that two pitchers from Point Loma in the major leagues would throw perfect games.
Oh, what a competitor. Love that big game.
Don Larson, of course, in the World Series, the only time a perfect game thrown in the World Series, a Yankee, Larson, and then David Wells.
Oh, I love seeing Tony hitting that fastball. I'll never forget it. I love that moment.
Well, when David was playing with the Padres, he didn't like to talk about it that much, so I try not to talk about it.
I know David Wells didn't love it, but
he ended up with the ring. So
yes, he did.
He threw the pitch that you homered in Yankee Stadium, game one.
You know, and didn't credit that team. That was an amazing team we went against. And David Wells, one of the 25 guys on that roster. There was an outstanding roster and well-deserved championship.
Yeah, he threw game one.
All the way to the screen, and the count 2-2 to Gardner. Let's go back to 1998, game one. Wells delivers, and Gwynn deposits.
Little slide step.
Yep.
He takes it off that facing. It was a laser.
You know, we talk about it in those instructionals that we do. I just took a shot. Looking for a fastball in, got it. Pretty straight. Stayed fair.
That was a beautiful swing on a huge stage.
Gardner works the count full with Cano and Soriano to follow here in the fourth. And another foul ball. Struck him out 4 in a row. Went after ball 4.
He really took guts right there. 3-2, throw him a bad breaking ball.
Now, Brett Gardner said he thought he tipped this ball. He wasn't even close. The downward tilt on this slider makes it difficult. Out of the hands, and that release point. So difficult because you're not used to seeing the ball coming from that area. And he gets on top of the baseball. There's that short stride. Frustrates a lot of hitters.
Cano 2 for 7 against Ross, including a home run.
Well, this is what you have to be careful about. Robinson Cano hasn't really been squaring too many balls up, but he has been gaining information down the dugout. He's looking for that mistake.
So with a base hit last night, Cano now has 1,577. Pretty good career. And it's interesting because that ties him with a very famous name in the all-time Yankee list. Number 16 all-time ties him with Wally Pipp.
Wow.
A baseball player's name that became a verb. Yeah, you don't want to be Wally Pipp.
No.
Because Wally Pipp was obviously an outstanding player. He had 1,577 hits, but one day came up with a headache. He said, don't put me in there, Skip. And a guy named Lou Gehrig took over, and Pipp never saw first base again with the Yankees. So a player that says, I don't feel too well, watch out, you're going to get Wally Pipp.
A story that'll always be talked about.
1-2, and another strikeout for Ross. 5 in a row, 6 in the game.
No, you know this breaking ball is good because, look, it's nowhere near the strike zone. And hitters are seeing it and just taking a cut at it.
As you know, Tony, it's arm speed, it's release point, it's that hard bite. And the hitters will indicate the type of stuff that you have. That's why Tyson Ross is so exciting at the age of 26.
Soriano struck out the first time. Pours in a 95-mile-an-hour fastball strike. Soriano was hitting .254 with the Cubs when they traded him to the Yankees. Wild wave. And he's a pitch away from striking out the side 2 consecutive innings. The major league record is 10 in a row. He's got 5 straight. .97, a little extra on that fastball. Well, the strikeout pitch has been the breaking ball. He's thrown 4 straight fastballs here. See what he comes in with at 2-2.
I think this is the slider.
And a ground ball to third. Headley across. Another 1-2-3 inning for Tyson Ross, including his 5th and 6th strikeouts of the game.
Into the bottom of the 4th inning, and Mark Kotze was kind enough to let us put a microphone on him during batting practice today. And hey, turns out you better watch your back. Check this out.
Hey, you had the hidden ball thing, and I got right behind you. You got the hat trick.
All kinds of shenanigans from Mark Kotze when he was mic'd up earlier. We've got plenty more coming your way throughout this game. Guys, what a jokester.
Yeah, Laura, that's all about having too much time on your hands. And I know all about that. Being a bench player,
yeah,
knowing
you're
not
all
going to
about
get stuck. Tony's like, yeah, I remember that stuff.
Yeah, I do remember.
Will Venable drives it deep but foul down into the right field corner. Nice play.
This game is so much fun. If you're a bench player, you have a lot of time on your hands. You got to have fun with your teammates. And Mark Kotze, what an example of exactly that, and having fun with Glenn Hoffman, the third base coach.
37-year-old kid.
Well, it's a great platform to be a kid and continue to be that.
Sometimes the young guys need to see the veteran guys keep it loose.
Mm-hmm.
This game's a tough game to play every single day.
Chase is in the dirt, and the put out 2-3. Nova now has 4 strikeouts.
Same kind of breaking ball out of the zone. Quick break.
There was a Roy Campanella that said that to play this game, you got to have a lot of little boy in you. Don't ever lose that, or you'll probably go wacky. You need to be.
It's all 162 games.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of games you play and the amount of time you spend with your teammates.
Well, it's 162 plus. The Padres was with an elongated spring training. They've 200 games on the schedule this year.
Oh, yeah.
6 weeks of spring training. 6 months of a season.
Jerko jammed and a little soft fly ball in the infield, and the shortstop Nunez has the second out. And we got ourselves quite a pitcher's duel here. Tyson Ross of the Padres, Ivan Nova the Yankees. No score, 2 outs here in the 4th inning. It's now 8 in a row retired by Nova.
Well, both starting pitchers have settled in very nicely. Good chemistry with their catchers.
Last Padre hit. The man at the plate now, Amarista, doubled to left field. That was leading off the 2nd inning. Padres couldn't get him around. Got him to 3rd with 1 out, but Nova got Hundley to ground to short and drawn in infield, and Ross struck out.
You can see the splits right there against the lefties. He's had a tough time. That's what Bud Black has to insert him in most of the right-handed situations.
High pop fly, back of 3rd. Shortstop Nunez wants this one too. He's been busy. Padres go in order. On to the 5th. No score.
Look at Tyson Ross, and it's been an outstanding effort again for Tyson Ross in getting to that fastball count and the 2-strike count. He's gone with a fastball, but predominantly the breaking ball with 2 strikes, a devastating breaking ball, making a lot of these Yankee hitters look very uncomfortable tonight. Good job by Tyson Ross.
Well, you add those numbers to his last 2 starts, 18 innings, the equivalent of 2 complete games, 1 run and 5 hits, and only 3 walks allowed. Quite a run here for Ross. Here's Granderson. He takes a strike. Fly to center his first time. Granderson, Overbay, and Nunez for the Yankees in the 5th. Only his 6th start as a Padre. The first 2 were brilliant, and he's on course for another outstanding game tonight.
And that's the changeup.
Wow.
That's his introduction in the top of the 5th inning.
I just see a fastball and breaking ball.
Got him swinging again.
That's not fair.
7 strikeouts.
Well, coming off your rehab assignment, getting a Second strike changeup and then a devastating slider to put him away. It's making a real good hitter look bad.
Overbay fly to center, his only at bat. There's the first base hit of the game, a line drive to left field. So Ross goes 4 1/3, and Overbay, the first base runner for the Yankees, a solid single to left.
That's smart hitting. This is a smart hitter by Lyle Overbay. Look for the fastball out over the plate. Even though it's tailing away, does what Ross wants it to do. He stays back and cars the ball in left field.
Brings up Nunez. First time that Tyson has to pitch from the stretch. Let's see if it has any impact on what has been a very successful start.
He still continues to have that good movement on his fastball. He gets on top of it. That downward plane makes it very difficult to get the ball in the air. You hit the top of the baseball, produces a lot of ground balls.
Pops him up. Shallow in center. Amarista coasts in under it. 2 away.
Let's take a look at Tyson Ross trying to get on top of this fastball. Good delivery, short stride. As you can see, he gets on top of that fastball. That's the adjustment he's made in his recent starts, driving down into the strike zone, making it very difficult on hitters.
2-to-1 ratio, strikes to balls. Lillibridge took a third strike his first time. Starts him with a curveball or a slider. Lillibridge is a young looking 29, isn't he? Looks more 19. Ball and a strike. 2 outs. Overbay at first. Tyson's younger brother, Joe, they never played on any teams together. Tyson is 6 years older. Joe is, of course, the top draft pick of the Padres. Pitching at Fort Wayne. That's a real good breaking pitch.
Yeah, and again, he's behind in the count 2-1. Lillibridge just took a tailing fastball inside. He's in the hitter's count. And he throws in that breaking ball, and a hitter, when it's standing up at the plate, it must look like, it's going to be a breaking ball right there, and boom, the bottom falls at him.
Strikeout number 8 ends the 5th inning, but the potential no-hitter goes awry on Overbay's single to left field. We'll mark that one. We're at the halfway mark in this one. 4.5 in the books. No score.
Twitter poll results. We asked you, which one of the farewell gifts for Mariano Rivera did you like most other than the bikes that the Padres gave? And let's see. Oh, it looks like the chair won this one. Rivera chair. That's the chair of broken bats. Of course, as Mark Sweeney said, probably could have made a lot more than one chair with all the bats that Rivera broke. And just one little note here, guys. It's not a real plane. They didn't give Rivera a plane. It's just a dedicated plane, okay? I know you were wondering.
That would have been a very generous gift.
Very nice gift.
Would have ruined the pole, wouldn't it? Fly ball to right field, and that twists Granderson around, but he's there to make the catch. A first ball swinging Forsythe. By the way, talking with the Yankee announcers, and prior to last night's gift from the Padres, indeed the chair was his favorite because it's not only the broken bats, but they're some of the greatest hitters from Minnesota that played against Mariano, and so those were the bats, of their very best players that they used to make the chair. That's a nice remembrance.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And there's some really good hitters in that organization too. So you can imagine. Like we said, that family could have had plenty of chairs.
Oh yeah,
could have given it to us.
Yeah, every room in his house.
Patio too.
Yep, had rocking chairs all over.
Nick Hundley grounded to short the first time. The Padres had the only serious chance. They did have runners at first and third with 2 outs in the first, but Jerko struck out. But they had a leadoff double Amarista in the second. Hundley sends a high sky fly ball into shallow right, and again it's Granderson for the second out.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
So the Padres in the second, after Amarista lit out with a double to left, Forsythe moved him to third on a ground out, but Hundley with the infield in hit a ball right at Nunez at short, couldn't get Amarista in, and then Ross struck out. Meanwhile, Ivan Nova, he lost his last 2 starts and pitched extraordinarily well, and the Yankees didn't get him a single run in either of the 2 starts, and they haven't given him a run again tonight. 2 strikes to Ross.
Well, talking about settling in, Nova 14 of 18 first pitch strikes. That's impressive.
He's been free and easy. Chasing a ball well outside. No effort by Ross to run to first base. The out is recorded 2-3. 5th strikeout for Nova. No score after 5. The real ship, aircraft carrier, is walking distance from Petco Park. Now that's going to be interesting, gentlemen. It's time for the Coors Light Freeze Cam, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. And we're going to freeze the ball halfway to home plate on Tyson Ross's strikeouts.
Yeah, and as you see where the ball is right there, that's the only one where it stayed on the plane. Every one after that, when we freeze it, doesn't stay on that same plane. It's somewhere else when Hundley catches it. And that's what hitters have to deal with, is that you see the ball, you think it's going to be one place, and if you don't recognize it, if you don't see it good, this is what happens. You swing and miss.
Yeah, Tony, so many times we talk about that release point, trying to pick that up as soon as you can. And with Tyson Ross, he makes it very difficult. He has that deception, being that tall, lanky pitcher, the release point. You can see that nasty break on his slider has been very devastating tonight.
His 8 strikeouts matches his career high, and he's got plenty of time to add on. Chris Stewart leads off, and Headley cuts it off in front of the shortstop Cabrera. 1 away. That'll bring up the pitcher Nova. Only 1 hit allowed by Tyson Ross, a solid single left field, Lyle Overbay. That's the only base runner for the Yankees tonight. Game of interest on the East Coast at Fenway Park. Quite a pitching matchup. Jake Peavy making his Red Sox debut against Patrick Corbin, the fine left-hander of the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they're late in that game, 3-2, Boston leading. Strike 3, and there's the new career high for Tyson Ross, number 9, and that's our Saquon Casino Daycation statistic of the game. A career best 9 strikeouts for Tyson Ross.
He keeps throwing like he's throwing. That number's going to be a whole lot higher than 9.
Well, Darren Balsley right there, the pitching coach. Got a smile underneath that look. And he should, because Tyson Ross is developing right in front of him. He loves the adjustments he's made, and he loves his power arm.
Brett Gardner bounced 1 to third. A good play on a short out made by Headley, and he struck out the last time on a 3-2 pitch. Still has the velocity, 95 on that one.
I think him and Darren Balsley and Buddy Black deserve credit, because when Clayton Richard got hurt, they felt like they could fill that spot within. They didn't feel like they needed to go out and make a move. And they thought Tyson Ross had the kind of stuff where he could step in there. And as a matter of fact, they were more concerned with him swinging the bat than they were him stepping into the rotation.
Yeah, and if you look at that and going down to AAA, he had to build his pitch count up. They already took care of the swing, like you talked about earlier, Tony. But building up that pitch count when he was in the bullpen, he wasn't stretched out enough. Well, he's stretched out enough now.
Well, the first walk from Tyson Ross, a 4-pitch walk to the speedy Gardner.
San Diego fans, day or night, flip-flops are a San Diego essential. Grab your pair of SD flip-flops Saturday, August 17th, when your Padres take on the Mets at 5:40 p.m. The first 25,000 fans will take home a pair of SD flip-flops presented by Scripps Health. Get your tickets today at Padres.com.
Well, Gardner at first with a 2-out walk. Not only is that the first walk from Ross, it's the first walk in the 2 games of this series. Kastner did not walk a man last night. Here's the dangerous Robinson Cano. He's grounded out and struck out. And Gardner, leading base stealer for the Yankees, with 17 at first base.
If you're going to walk a guy, really Gardner wasn't the guy that you wanted to walk. He's no question a threat to steal the base, and at the same time, you got Robinson Cano standing in the box, so you still got to make good pitches.
Gardner with his steals this year. His last one gave him 154, one more than the great Mickey Mantle.
You see that guard right there protecting when he slides in head first. That's the protection. He's taking out the cookies. That's the changeup. Outstanding movement, good arm speed. Let's take a look at that changeup and the movement, down and away. If he can develop that pitch, we're going to talk about consistency. We're also going to talk about a lot of strikeouts.
Cano, the Yankees' top power source this year, in a year where they're not the home run hitting Yankees of so many seasons, so many decades. Only 4 homers the last 17 games. There he goes. Got a big jump and steals it easily. Comes up shaking his right hand. He had that mid on the left hand. Number 18.
A good break by Brett Gardner. Puts his head down. And that quick slide, yeah.
Cabrera stepped on his hand. Watch right here.
Oh, yeah. That right hand. And he stepped on him because of the slide in. Took Cabrera out.
So the Yankees, without a hit in this inning, have a man in scoring position for the first time tonight. That stirs up the Yankee faithful that have come out to help fill Petco Park tonight. Count is 1-1 to Cano. Goes to the breaking pitch, the slider. 2-1. Soriano on deck.
Well, Tony, for Robinson Cano, now with the base open, he is going to be very specific of what he wants.
That last pitch right there, that was a pitch he struck out on the last time up. This time recognizes it, takes it.
First base open. High drive, right center field. That ball's hit well. Long run for Venable, and Amarista's the man who gets there in time. Off the bat, that looked dangerous. Cano retired. Amarista the catch.
Tell you what, David, you've got both of your former teams here knotted up in a pitcher's duel. How you liking this one from your vantage point?
I'm digging it. I mean, this is what baseball to me is all about. Pitchers duels. I mean, Tyson's throwing an incredible game, and Yvonne is doing the same right back. So, you know, you match 0 for 0. It's good. It's just who's going to get the big hit and get the winning run in.
I have to ask you, do you ever relive your perfect game, think about times and things that happened during that game?
You know, I never have. I've never even watched it. So, you know, but people, they'll tweet me or tell me if it's on a classic on Yes Network or whatever it is. They're watching the classic. You know, it's cool, but I've yet to go back and relive it.
Hey, game 1 in '98. Who had a home run off of you? He's up in our broadcast booth. You got anything to say to him?
Yeah, that was a cookie for him. I felt bad for him, though. He's been playing all those years, and, you know, I hung him a changeup, and he didn't. No, Tony, he ripped it. It was just a good pitch. I mean, when you face great hitters like that and they see the ball really well, it doesn't matter what you throw them. But if it's anyone I give up a home run to in the World Series, I'm glad it was Tony. Keeping it in San Diego.
Right. right, we'll let him know that, okay? Thanks so much, Boomer, for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome.
Cabrera 2-0, flies it to left, and Soriano there waits for the first out of the 6th inning. That's now 13 in a row retired by Ivan Nova. A cookie it was.
He don't like talking about it. And again,
yeah, that's not a cookie.
Hey,
he's trying to get on your hands.
Try to get in on my knuckles. I cheated. I hit it out, and I hit the home run. He gets the championship ring. I would trade it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I would too. I agree with you. But that wasn't a cookie.
He said changeup too. It wasn't a change.
No, it was a slide step fastball.
Memory works in different ways, you know. And as time goes on, whether you're telling the truth or not, it becomes the truth. Chase Headley has a single and a ground out. So the Padres got 2 singles in the first inning. Headley and Alonso both with 1 out. And then a leadoff double Amarista in the second. But since that double, it's been all Nova, 13 straight outs.
Well, David Wells is right. It's getting into a time where you need that big hit. Hopefully it comes off the bat of Chase Headley.
Pretty good pitch, 0-2. Now 1-2. Only 61 pitches for Nova.
Yeah, both guys, their pitch count's down. Making quality pitches, getting a lot of outs.
No walks from Nova. And that one pulled foul. Only 1 walk and 1 single allowed by Ross. Well, tomorrow the final game of this Yankee series, 12:30 our broadcast time here on Fox Sports San Diego, and you'll come on out and root for the redhead from Southern California and Huntington Beach, the new Padre Ian Kennedy, that goes against right-hander Phil Hughes of the Yankees. And it'll be, of course, Military Sunday with the Army, Navy, Air Force all honored. It was interesting when you were talking to Joe Girardi yesterday before the game. He says, you still do that nice military day on Sunday?
Yeah.
And he was really into that. He said, that is such a terrific thing. I'm glad we're going to be here for it.
And he has his 11-year-old son, and he said, I want him to see that. I think that's the greatest thing as you see Ian Kennedy getting ready for his first start.
Full count now. Chase Headley, who leads the team in walks. And a changeup way out in front. Time now for a Fox Sports 1 game break. All right, thank you. 5-2. The Red Sox trying to give Jake Peavy a win in his first start as a Boston right-hander. Alonso has a hit, and he bounces this to short. Nunez has been busy tonight, and again a 1-2-3 inning. 15 straight outs for Ivan Nova.
Yankees pitchers duel. Andy Ashby, Mike Pomeranz with you, working on the postgame show. Ivan Nova doing the job for the Yankees, but Tyson Ross is just knocking him down for the Padres.
Yeah, he's been filthy. 94, 95 on the fastball, and that devastating slider coming off the same plane of that fastball. It looks like a fastball coming in there, and then all of a sudden the bottom drops out of that slider. He's doing a great job.
Well, hopefully Tyson will be able to stay the course, and the Padres will start stringing a few hits together and get something on the board to support him a little bit. So when we see you after the final out, we'll have more on Tyson Ross as he begins dealing here in the top and seventh inning. Also, you'll hear from Buddy Black. We'll have all that for you. And we have Mark Kotze mic'd up. We'll see you guys after the final out.
Okay, Mike. It's then a K-Fest this Saturday night. 9 strikeouts for Tyson Ross. And Ivan Nova has 6 Ks against the Padres. 15 total strikeouts as we move to the top of the 7th inning. Soriano. That big wave at the slider away. 2-1. Soriano, then Granderson and Overbay for the Yankees. Overbay has the only hit allowed by Ross. Soriano with 373 career home runs sends that one to shallow center. A long run for Amarista, and up to save the day. No, he could not come up with it. It's a Jed Jerko as it goes off his glove. Amarista went the wrong way off the crack of the bat, and by the time he put it in gear and raced in for it, what should have been a fairly easy put out becomes a base hit for Soriano.
You see the effort by Jed Jerko going behind it. But Amarista gets a tough break at the beginning of this play. He sees the swing by Soriano. Watch his reaction. He goes back first and then tries to drive as hard as he can to get in. A little too late. Good effort by Jed Jerko trying to go over his back. Been a great play.
The 2 steps that Amarista took back were the 2 steps that would have gotten him to the ball for the out. But a leadoff man on Soriano on Blue Pit. Brings up Granderson. He's flied out and struck out. And that ball is drilled to right field. Venable goes back. Granderson has hit it out. Back from injury, Curtis Granderson, his 2nd home run of the season. And the Yankees score first, 2-0.
That's what this offense for the Yankees has missed, is those guys capable of going out of the ballpark. Fastball runs back over the middle of the plate. And Granderson just doesn't miss that fastball. You got to locate it against him. That one ran back over the middle of the plate, and he did what home run hitters do. He put a good swing.
A Jack Dick home run for Curtis Granderson. Well, the Yankees strike first here in the 7th inning. It's 2-0. And the Blue Pit set the table for Granderson's 2-run shot. Well, the man who hit 43 last year, finally back in the lineup for New York, has his 2nd of this season. Overbay a single in 2 trips. And Ross might be unnerved by the results of the first 2 batters here in the 7th. Falls behind 2-0 to Overbay. Granderson's 263rd career home run. He was part of that 3-team trade that sent Granderson from Detroit to the Yankees. The Yankees, as part of the deal with Arizona, Ian Kennedy went to the D-backs, and now it'll be Ian Kennedy for the Padres tomorrow. 3-1.
I'm anxious to see Ian Kennedy throw tomorrow too.
I'm sure he'll have plenty of family down from Orange County coming down and watching him play in Southern California. It's got to be a great feeling.
Full count now to Overbay. Well, a 1-hitter through 6 innings for Tyson Ross, and that misjudged fly ball to shallow center that went for a base hit to Soriano set up Granderson for that home run to the right field jack deck. And ball 4. Second walk from Tyson Ross. Well, we invite you to get to Petco Park early on Friday, August 16th. That's after the Padres go off on a 6-game road trip, come back from Colorado on Friday the 16th. It's the Padres Wine Fest. You will enjoy wine tastings from some of your favorite wineries before the Padres entertain the Mets in a 7 o'clock game. The party starts at 5 with $5 tastings, live music. Get your Padres Wine Fest tickets at Padres.com. After Baltimore Tuesday and Wednesday, then the Mets are in for 3. Make that 4 games for the Mets, and 3 with Pittsburgh, 3 with the Cubs. Nick Vincent getting loose in the Padre pen. Nunez the hitter.
This is the first time all night that Tyson Ross looks uncomfortable on the mound. Buddy Black looks on. It's decision time in the game.
And he falls behind 2-0 to Nunez. The attendance has been announced, and they were able to squeeze in 60 more people than last night. 60 more fans, 44,184. Great turnout on this Saturday night. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. That's a strike. 93 pitches now from Tyson Ross. Meanwhile, Ivan Nova hasn't given up a hit since the leadoff man in the 2nd inning. Padres trying to figure him out. Three and 1. So Bloop single Soriano, home run Granderson, walk Overbay, and now 3-1 the count to Nunez.
A 3-1 count. You might see Overbay taking off. Try to set them in motion. With a lead, you're afforded to do that.
Ball 4 misses outside. So after a nearly perfect 6 innings, Ross in trouble here in the 7th, and that'll bring Bud Black to the mound. Single, home run, walk. And it looks as if the manager's going to make a pitching change. A couple of Yankees aboard on walks. Ross, a good effort, but he leaves the game trailing 2-0. Nick Vincent was warming up in the bullpen. He gets a final throw, and he will take over here in the 7th inning as we pause for these words. Brought to you by Mossy Toyota. Summer temperatures higher, but Mossy's prices are lower. Visit Mossy.com. By Petco, where the healthy pets go. And by your San Diego County Lexus dealer, inviting you to test drive a luxurious Lexus automobile today. Closing in on another beautiful San Diego sunset on this Saturday night as Nick Vincent comes in to relieve Tyson Ross. 2-0 Yankees, 2 men on, a couple of walks, and that was all for Ross. And the first man that Vincent will face is Ichiro. Ichiro closing in on another milestone, 15 hits away from 4,000. Actually, it's now 14 with a base hit last night. Overbay and Nunez aboard, no one out. And 2 runs home on the Granderson home run. .95 pitches for Tyson Ross tonight. Only 3 hits and 3 walks, but one of the hits, the 2-run home run.
If you look at his outing, only 1 bad pitch.
Yeah.
A home run to Granderson. And that's all it takes. Moving forward, you see the atmosphere here. Stepping into that arena is a very difficult thing. They did a nice job tonight. He was consistent, throwing a lot of strikes.
It's only the 5th home run he's given up in 65+ innings. Ball and a strike to Ichiro. 1 for 4 last night and a stolen base. Ichiro had an interesting way to build his swing as a young boy. Fouls that into the glove. He would practice hitting a wiffle ball with a big shovel, with all the weight on the end of the shovel to build up his strength and follow through. You don't hear that as a prelude to great success.
The flat side or with
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Well, he's cutting the wiffle
ball. I was going to
ball.
say, yeah, the way he swings, you would think he probably used the side to try to cut the wiffle ball in half.
Well, he's got the hand-eye coordination that you are amazed. He's got a lot of movement, the timing and rhythm, and being able to go the other way. I know, Tony, you like doing that, but he understands the strike zone.
Yep.
And he's been consistent throughout his career.
This one's a pretty big bat for a little guy too, and it's not orthodox. He does some unusual things, especially in his early days, where a lot of times he would be running out of the box as he was swinging a bat. But
it's one of those statements you don't teach us at home.
Exactly. But he's made it work, and I don't think anybody can question how good a hitter he is.
Full count now to Ichiro with 2 on, no one out.
How he handles the bat, the runners are probably, they stay
off Vincent. There's 1, and that's all they'll get with the speed, and might have been able to get the runner going from second to third because Overbay just kind of locked in there off second base. They get a fielder's choice put out. Ichiro safe at first and Overbay to third.
Yeah, this play right here, I might have considered getting the lead run. Because you're not going to turn a double play with Ichiro. You see Overbay go back towards second base, so you got plenty of time. Jed might have even been able to catch that ball and go straight to third.
Yeah, I think he was shocked that Overbay still hadn't arrived at third. Even with a fake to second, there still was time. Had he wheeled and thrown immediately to third, they had a chance to get an unusual 6-4-5 double play. Chris Stewart, the catcher, struck out and grounded out.
Let's go back to this awkward play, too, with the transition. And Jed Jerko didn't have an opportunity. Ted Barrett, the crew chief, can't throw around Big Ted.
He was right in the firing line there.
But you're right, Tony. I mean, that's a situation you know you're not going to get Ichiro in a double play unless it's a hard hit ball and it's a good transfer.
Ichiro, a base stealer, takes his lead, and a foul back as Stewart tries to go to right field with that swing. Colt Hines, the only left-hander now in the Padre bullpen, is getting loose with Joe Thatcher dispatched to Arizona. He pitched a third of an inning last night in the D-backs win.
Well, this is a big at bat because you know Ivan Nova's not coming out of the game the way he's been pitching. That left center gap right there, that's open.
Amarista dangerously shallow in center field, and there's the pickoff try at third, but Overbay literally gets back in time.
Here's the pick off to third base. Now you have to throw to third this year. No fake third, throw to first. It's a rule change.
Beat me to it, Mark.
Shallow and right. Venable setting up for the throw. Overbay tags and does not come home. Cut off by Alonso. Stewart, a shallow fly. Here's Nova coming up to hit for himself.
Play all around. Will Venable played that perfectly. Caught it with his momentum coming to where he's going to throw. Hits the cutoff man. See him coming with his momentum coming towards where he's going to throw the ball. As an outfielder, that's what you'd like to do with a runner in scoring position. Let's catch the ball coming forward.
And with Nova up there, Suzuki at first base. Does Ichiro try to pick up 90 feet and steal second? And if he does try, do you throw through? Strike one.
I was actually surprised that the Yankees didn't try to steal a run right there with the pitcher coming up. This is the time when they have trust in their bullpen, especially late in the game. But good job, like you talked about, Tony. Will Venable getting behind that ball.
1-1. Nova yet to record a major league base hit, 0 for 9. Struck out both times facing Tyson Ross.
Joe's managed in the National League before, and I'm sure that's the reason why that guy right there, he knows he's got him in his back pocket. Nova's throwing a good game right now, and he'll sacrifice him possibly making it out here, keep him in the game.
I'm not taking anything away from Joe Girardi, but when you have a weapon like that, it gets the last 3 outs. 3+ outs usually. What a weapon. Shorten that game. There he is. Wow.
3-1 to the pitcher. And Nova's got to figure he's going to get a fastball here.
You can see from our Fox Tracks by Southland Technology, number 4. That was a good pitch.
Late swing. And the count full. That'll get Ichiro off with his next delivery. Struck him out. Good job of relief. Nick Vincent comes in with 2 on and no one out and gets a ground ball, fly ball, strikeout. But Curtis Granderson has yanked one over the fence and right, and the Yankees lead 2-0.
Fans, Fox Sports 1, America's new 24-hour sports network. Fox Sports 1 will be your home for great live sports, all the news and highlights you want, and shows and specials that only Fox could bring you. Fox Sports 1 coming August 17th.
It's just 2 weeks from tonight. Jason Nix enters the game for the Yankees, takes over at third base. Lillibridge hit 4 by Ichiro. Now the Padres trailing 2-0 as they come up to hit in the bottom of the 7th and facing a man who has retired 15 straight. There's Nix. Middle of the order, Venable, Jerko, and Amarista. Ball hit well to center field. That chases Gardner back, and it's over his head. Venable into second base with a leadoff double. Well, that's a good start here in the 7th. That ball carrying very well.
He hits this ball and it's got a little slice action to it. He had good position. Watch Gardner. He takes his eye off the ball, but that move right there was tailing away from him. Venable gets himself in the scoring position, and hopefully the Padres can get right back in this.
Will Venable getting carry on his baseball, making adjustments in the cages.
Brings up
through.
Jerko had struck out and popped up. Breaking ball for a strike. Again, Nova's success tonight, the fact that he's given up only 4 hits now, no walks, and 6 strikeouts. Another off-speed breaking pitch.
That breaking ball's been devastating all night. Almost looks like it's getting out of his hands, and he has a big break on that curveball.
Boy, making Jerko look bad with the breaking ball. 7 strikeouts. Twice he's gotten Jerko.
Ivan Nova's been lights out, especially with his breaking ball. Let's take a look at how he attacks Jed Jerko. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Then he goes to that outside edge with another breaking ball and goes a little bit further out. That breaking ball has been giving a lot of people fits, especially Jed Jerko on that at bat.
So with 1 out, Amarista, who has a double in 2 trips. Venable out at second base. Padres trail 2-0.
Well, Alexi took that breaking ball the other way. See if he stays back again or has to hit off the fastball.
Again, Nova has been pitching limited number of tosses because he's been ahead of almost every hitter. First time in a long time he's gone 2-0 on a batter. See if Amarista can take advantage.
Let's see in this situation if he throws Amarista a fastball too. He's been pretty much commanding that breaking ball. When he needs to throw a strike, that's what he's been throwing. Let's see if he gives in here and throws a fastball.
Ground ball right at the third baseman, and Nix just into the game throws out Amarista for the second out. Venable still at second.
Here he came with the fastball, but it was a 2-seam fastball. Had a lot of run away from Amarista. Hits it right at the third baseman.
Padres now 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Here's Forsythe. He's grounded out and flied out. Homered last night. First home run since back on June 28th. Good block by the catcher Stewart. And he went after a tough pitch from Sabathia to hit this line drive home run.
One of Beautiful swing by Logan Forsythe. Just gets out. He's got a nice approach. Hit a good pitcher's pitch right there for a home run. Big situation for him right now.
Two and 0. Nova was Padre property 3 years ago, 2010, a Rule 5 pick by the Padres, but coming out of spring training, they released him back to the Yankees. It looks like this 26-year-old from the Dominican Republic is the real deal.
Well, sometimes that situation, they're not necessarily ready to make that jump. Coming on a Rule 5, it's almost a small window of opportunity. Padres must not have thought he was ready at that time. It's a tough decision as an organization.
Strike. High in the zone. 2-1 to Forsythe.
Well, you've been as efficient as Ivan Nova has. 77 pitches at this point. You're going to get some breaks. He's earned that pitch right there. See that number 3 right on the edge.
And 3-1. That's only the second time Nova's gone to a 3-ball count. So Forsythe can get a pitch he can drive. Two outs. Venable still at second base. And the first walk of the game from Nova puts the tying run on with 2 outs, and Hundley the hitter. No move from Girardi in that Yankee dugout as yet. Joe, a collegian at Northwestern, Mark Loretta's alma mater. He's got his ace card out there in the bullpen for the 9th inning. This is just the 7th. 2 on and 2 out. And Hundley steps up. He's grounded out and flied out. Lashes that one upstairs to the right.
Well, the Padres in this second half have done a real good job getting themselves in position, even when they have some tough matchups. Getting themselves in positions late in ball games to either tie or win the game, and they've come on top a lot more than the less on the other side.
Like we talked about, you need a big hit. You need somebody to step up there, put a good swing on it.
Huntley has been a money hitter. You saw 296 with runners in scoring position. The Padres are 0 for 7 tonight against Nova with men in scoring position.
He won a ball game against the Cincinnati Reds the other night with a big double down the left field line. They'll take that right here.
Venable a leadoff double at second. Jerko struck out. Amarista grounded out. The 2-out walk to Forsythe, and Mark Kotze, mic'd or not mic'd, is in the on-deck circle. What a beautiful scene looking into Petco Park on this San Diego Chamber of Commerce Saturday. Way out in front. That curveball has fooled a lot of hitters tonight.
Again, 1-1 count. Throwing the breaking ball. Looks like he has a lot of confidence in that pitch. And he knows, hitters looking for a fastball. He was looking for something he can drive.
2-2 now to Hundley. Interesting defensive alignment in the outfield for the Yankees. Gardner is playing shallow in right center. Really shallow. Look at the hole in left center field. That would score 2 with 2 outs. You drive one up that alley.
What that does, it tells me you're not going to see a fastball. You're going to see a breaking ball. He might get a fastball off the plate away, but it's going to be some kind of breaking ball away.
Fastball high in the strike zone. And Hundley stays alive, 2-2.
And up the ladder that time. And the last thing he wants to do is make a mistake in the middle of the plate where Nick Hundley could, hook a ball in or left center field and get these base runners running around the bases.
That's what Buddy Black wants. He wants that big hit. He understands the recipe of the Padres winning ball games, keeping it close, and getting that big hit.
They had him jammed there. A good pitch, but fought it off. Curveball. He hasn't hung many of those, has he? Kept them down and on the corners. Venable at second. Forsythe the tying run at first. 2 outs here in the 7th. Strike 3 call. Another curveball. 8 strikeouts for Nova. The Padres lead 2. Tony?
Well, Nova's done what he's done all night. He's been challenging the striking zone. Fastball, that's a breaking ball trying to get him to chase. That's the one he's thrown for a strike all night. Here he tries to get him to chase again. He doesn't. Fastball up, he fouls it off. Another back, kind of an inside curveball. And he comes back with one that Nick didn't think was a strike. I kind of didn't think it was a strike. I kind of thought it was in, but with 2 strikes, you know, you're trying to protect the plate.
Yeah, with 2 strikes, you got to protect that backup breaking ball so hard. It looked like it was off the plate just a little bit, but late in the game, very difficult to take. Credit Ivan Nova, like you talked about, Tony, getting ahead, getting into those pitcher counts where you can really do anything you want.
And you know what? That to right-hand hitters, that's the one pitch he hadn't tried to throw like a backup breaking ball to a right-hand hitter.
Colt Hines comes in to work the 8th inning. He'll face the top of the Yankee order. Gardner has struck out, grounded out, and walked tonight. He stole his 18th base. We're going to check on other action around the major leagues.
Good located fastball by Colt. Joe Thatcher gone, the lone lefty in the bullpen. He's going to get plenty of opportunity to see if he can stick in the big leagues.
Yes, he will.
In big situations.
Dale Thayer starts to get loose. We've gone extra innings, and Tampa Bay, the Giants and the Rays. We'll check on that score for you. Second baseman Jerko bobbles and just does get him. 1 out. Time for a Fox Sports 1 game bag. Let's go to Florida. Well, the Giants lose another low-scoring game in extra innings. Will Myers, acquired from Kansas City, with a game winner. Cano, ground out, strikeout, and a long fly ball out against Tyson Ross. Went out here in the 8th, and David Robertson throwing in the Yankee bullpen. That ball to left field, shallow. Forsythe there for the second out. Well, a look around the major leagues. Former Padres star Jake Peavy goes 7 innings in his Boston debut. The Red Sox win at 5-2 against the D-backs. Francisco Liriano of the Bucks, 7 innings, a 2-hit shutout effort as Pirates beat the Rockies 5-2. And Will Myers, you just saw in 10 innings with a game winner in a 2-1 win, the Rays over the Giants. So Diamondbacks, Rockies, and Giants all lose. National League West. Soriano will fly that one foul, but the Dodgers keep on winning. They're 13-2 since the All-Star break. They shut out the Cubs 3-0 today. So they built their lead quickly to 4.5 over Arizona. Padres, if they can rally and win, would move past Colorado into 3rd place.
You guys know, we saw the Dodgers early. They were dead in the water. They were absolutely struggling badly, and Don Mattingly, it looked like his job might be in jeopardy.
Everyone wanted to fire him.
And, you bring this kid up Puig, and the next thing you know, they get fire, and they're 4.5 games in 1st place.
Hanley Ramirez has been outstanding.
They were 9.5 out behind the Padres in last place when we were at Dodger Stadium. What was that, late in June? And they've taken off since Puig arrived. Yeah, that was the 20th, 21st, 22nd of June. Puig came up. We saw his debut. We thought he might be good. 2 homers and a double in his first major league game. And then Hanley Ramirez picked up the whatever select there might have been, and everyone got hitterish.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss, and down goes Soriano. A 1-2-3 inning for Colt Hines. Padres need a couple to tie as we go to the bottom of the 8th. James. David Robertson, who has retired the last 23 batters that he has faced, has not allowed anyone aboard since April.
Let's take a look at Ivan Nova tonight. Very comfortable, especially with that big breaking ball. Caused havocs with the San Diego Padre hitters. The big break, he got ahead of hitters. He was very efficient. And that's the effort that the New York Yankees and Joe Girardi needed. See the fist pump with a big strikeout by Nick Hundley to finish the game.
And Mariano,
there he is,
getting ready for his role in the 9th inning, or possibly sooner. Jesus Guzman will lead it off with the Padres batting for Colt Hines. here in the 8th inning. 2-0 New York. Robertson has been lights out. 182 batting average against his offerings.
Now with that average, it's fastball, curveball for David Robertson. Has a cut on his fastball, and he likes throwing it. High percentage with his fastball, but likes throwing that 12-6 breaking ball that's given fits to the Padres tonight.
Nova, 7 innings of shutout pitching, only 4 hits, a couple doubles, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. Guzman, then the top of the order, Cabrera and Headley against Robertson. .90 on his first fastball. This big crowd, 44,184, the second shutout in the 2 games of the series. And Nova quieting the Padre faithful with his shutout pitching. Just to correct myself on Robertson's effort, his 23 straight batters retired are with the bases loaded. He's come in the toughest of jams and gotten the out. There's the breaking ball. Guzman would not bite.
Well, he likes throwing the cutter, and I wonder where he learned it from.
Yeah, wouldn't that be some advantage, a young pitcher to be in that bullpen with Mariano Rivera? Did not go. And the count 2-2 on the pinch hitter.
Well, everybody that's been in the bullpen that was next to number 51, Trevor Hoffman, they learned a lot too. Maybe not the same changeup and the way he threw it, but the way to be a professional, the way to take your job and go out there and work. It's a benefit to have those guys as leaders in the bullpen.
Chopped to first over Bay with the flip. 3-1 on the putout, 1 away. Well, tomorrow our 12:30 for Fox Sports San Diego's coverage of the final game of this series. Phil Hughes, who is 4-9, will go for the Yankees. And the Padres will introduce their newest right-hander, Ian Kennedy, former Yankee, former Arizona Diamondback. Kennedy will get his first taste of pitching in that Padre uniform. He's always worked well here at Petco Park while with Arizona. 12:30 for Padres Live tomorrow afternoon. 1 out to Chase Headley, a single and 3 at-bats. Padre hits a single Headley, single Alonso, and doubles by Amarista and Venable. Cabrera, and then Headley. As Guzman goes out 3-1. Curtis Granderson's 2-run homer, the difference. Yankees 5th in the American League. Their bullpen 3.13. Kansas City outstanding this year. Padres meanwhile with 2 scoreless innings tonight. Cabrera takes a strike. 2-1. They have gone 17 consecutive scoreless innings, the bullpen for San Diego, as both Nick Vincent and Colt Hines work a scoreless inning tonight.
Nick Vincent doing a nice job out of the bullpen. Again, continuing tonight.
2-2.
Well, they're a bloop and a blast away.
Yep. You just stick to the plan. Give yourself every opportunity, swinging strikes.
And a full count to Cabrera.
You see from our Fox tracks by Southland Technology, staying in the strike zone for Everett Cabrera. Laura talked about that early in the ball game, which impressed Buddy Black. about the maturation process of Everett Cabrera, staying in the strike zone, especially with 2 strikes, and not fearing that situation.
Loop behind short, long run, and Soriano gets there. 2 out. And here's Headley. Well, the Padres against Nova had a chance in the first inning, back-to-back singles with 1 out, Headley and Alonso. But Venable grounded out and Jerko struck out. Then Amarista led off the second inning with a double, but the Padres couldn't get him around. The only other opportunity, a double by Venable in the 7th inning, leading off. They also got a walk to Forsythe, but Nova then struck out Hundley to end that threat. Robertson, 28 years of age, drafted out of the University of Alabama by the Yankees. That ball sharply struck into right field. So Headley brings the tying run to the plate with that single, and he has a couple of base knocks tonight. And it's Alonso who steps up.
Cutter that stayed in the middle of the plate. It didn't get in. And Headley lines it into right field.
Alonso a single and a couple of groundouts. Sitting just a notch below 300 as he steps up. A hit tonight to extend his streak to 7 straight games. Now look at where Cano is playing. Almost behind first base.
Well, that indicates that cutter Tony talked about, trying to cover that hole with the first baseman covering over there, Lyle Overbay.
There's that cutter low and in.
Yonder Alonso, May 19th, his last home run, 6 on the year. It's a situation where you just want to put the barrel on the baseball. Keep it simple if you're Yonder Alonso.
Cano drastically over toward first base. Huge hole up the middle. Way upstairs. 2-1. Alonso with 6 home runs. Until his injury, he was on the pace to hit 15, 18 homers this year. Venable on deck.
Whoa.
2-2 as plate umpire Barry saw that as a strike.
He's calling that a strike, dude. You have to protect.
Look at that one right there. Well, that's frustration. Yep. That's a big part of the game.
That gets called a ball. It's 3-1.
Yep.
High fly, center field, innocent. Gardner squeezes the final out. Looks as if we're going to see Mariano when we get to the 9th inning. 2-0 Yankees. Well, Ivan Nova and Curtis Granderson, that combination, the story tonight. Nova, 7 shutout innings, only 4 hits, and Granderson's 2-run home run to give the Yankees a 2-0 lead. Padres have out-hit New York 5-3, but the home run the difference. And Tyson Ross, his story, a career-high 9 strikeouts, didn't allow a base hit until the 5th inning. But in the 7th, a bloop single by Soriano as Amarista in center field misjudged that fly ball that fell in front of him. And then Granderson hammered the home run into the jack deck. Dale Thayer here, top of the 9th inning. Granderson had flied out and struck out against Ross until the home run, his 2nd of the season. Just rejoining the club from the injured list. Ground ball right side, and it squeaks through for a base hit. And Granderson with the 4th Yankee hit of the night. Brings up Lyle Overbay.
Well, much needed at bat for Curtis Granderson, but take a look at Yonder Alonso over there, first base. He's frustrated. Tough play, that in-between ball as a first baseman. You want to dive for that. He thought Jed Jerko had an opportunity for that, but hit too hard. That's a solid single through the hole.
Overbay with the first hit off the starter Tyson Ross with 1 out in the 5th inning, a single to left field. He walked the last time. Limbering up.
Yeah, so many of these closers are just driven as a routine. Dennis Eckersley, Trevor Hoffman, Mariano Rivera.
Get those 43-year-old joints loosened up. Granderson at first base. No one out. Infield looks for 2. That one caroms out of some hands in the middle level, all the way down behind the dugout of the Yankees. The 44,184 tonight pushes the season attendance over 1.5 million at home. Breaking ball apparently inside, 2-2.
You can see our Foxback tracks by Southland Technology just off the plate. Looked like a pretty good pitch.
Tried to run that fastball in back on the inside corner of the plate.
Runner goes, and a drive to center field, but Amarista's there. He might have a play back at first. Here's the throw, and it is not in time. Almost a double play. Great throw by Amarista. Alonso thought that was DP, but Alfonso Marquez didn't think so, and Bud Black's going to carry on the argument.
That's the argument I would have, is why is Ted Barrett calling that play? Marquez is standing right behind first base.
Barrett comes over from second base to make the call, huh?
Well, strong throw by Amarista. Good footwork by Yonder. He's out.
Unless he's ruling Alonso pulled his foot off the bag as he made the catch.
No, foot's on the bag. He's out.
He's out by a lot.
Yeah, that really is a missed call. And that's a good point. Why is the second base umpire coming over to make a call when the first base umpire is right there behind first base?
Yeah, and really on that play to center field, isn't the second base umpire, isn't he supposed to go out and make sure the center fielder catches the ball?
Yeah, there's a rotation. And it looked like they forgot to rotate.
But Black has something he could rotate.
Yeah, he's not real happy right now.
So the Yankees catch a break. Granderson still at first base with 1 out. And the hitter is Eduardo Nunez, 0 for 2 with a walk.
Good play on both ends. That's a speedy runner on first base. It's a double away from scoring. That's the frustration if you're Bud Black.
How about the throw on the fly by Amarista?
If anything could have been different on this play, if Alonso could have somehow got his foot on the other side of the bag and gone to get the ball, but he's still out. He's out. Ball beats Granderson's foot getting to the bag.
Well, Barrett hustled to get over there to get a good look at it, but didn't see it as we did on the replay.
Yeah, I wonder what the conversation is going to be in the umpire's room tonight when Marquez is standing. He's standing right there behind first base, and here comes Barrett coming over to make the call.
Well, we talk about the rotation, but you look at Marquez, and he's back. He's not jammed up next to the base to see that contact, but Ted Barrett was in position to make the call.
Fly ball shallow and right. Venable over toward the line. And that's the second out here in the top of the ninth inning, as it's time for our Carl's Jr. star of the game. And Ivan Nova, the 26-year-old right-hander for the Yankees, lights out pitching. He had 15 straight outs between the second and the seventh inning. Only 4 hits allowed, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts for Nova, our Carl's Jr. star of the game, as he seeks his first win ever against the Padres and his 5th win of the year. He was injured out a month with a triceps injury. Jason Nix batting for the first time. There are his numbers on the season. Keep an eye on Granderson with 2 outs. He may want to try to steal. Foul back. 2 strikes on Nix.
Just an opportunity to try to steal a run if you're Granderson. You know he has fresh legs coming off that rehab assignment. 2 outs, 2 strikes. Why not?
Just looking ahead to the bottom of the ninth inning, it'll be Venable, Jerko, and Amarista scheduled for the Padres against the bullpen ace, Mariano Rivera, who's had a great season. The line is 43 years. There he goes. Throw by Hundley on one hop, and Granderson has a stolen base.
Not a whole lot Nick Hundley could do. Granderson got a great jump. Puts his head down, takes a peek. Easily beats the play to second.
His second steal in his limited play. And the count 1-2 on Nix.
Let's see if Dale goes to that breaking ball away right here. See from our Fox Tracks by Southland Technology. Everything on the outside corner.
Rivera out there in the pen with 642 saves, the all-time Major League record, breaking Trevor Hoffman's record, and he's got 34 this year. Ground ball right side and through, charged by Venable. Here comes the runner Granderson, the throw to the plate, way up the line, and on to second goes Nix, and the Yankees add. It's 3-0. Couple of seeing eye singles to the right fielder Venable. Granderson with a single, stolen base. And Nix coming through with a key base hit. That's a big run for the Yankees.
Well, the stolen base set it up. Nix does a nice job going with his ball. Will Venable knows he's got to hurry because Granderson can run. And the throw is offline. Nix moves up in the scoring position.
Thayer wisely backing up the throw. And that'll bring up Chris Stewart. The catcher is 0 for 3.
Well, you can see, Dick, this isn't the ideal lineup that we talked about that the Yankees have. A professional bat by Jason Nix going the other way in an RBI situation, knowing that Dale Thayer was working exclusively on the outside corner.
But let's not forget the fact that Granderson should have been out on the double play and was ruled safe, and he then becomes the third run. Two and 0 now to Stewart. Center field, Amarista. But the Yankees steal a run in the 9th inning. It's 3-0, and we're about to see the ace. Yankee and Padre fans saluting the entrance of Mariano Rivera. And if you're a baseball fan, regardless what team you come to cheer, it's an honor to give a hand to the great ones. It's part of the game.
Yep.
Now you hope that the Padres can come up with a magical rally and beat him in the bottom of the 9th inning, but here he is, 642 saves strong, plus 42 saves in playoff action, which is kind of remarkable in that his number is 42. As Jerry Coleman said, he doesn't mind the fact that Rivera wears his number. As a Yankee, he was 42. Of course, that's retired now. Jackie Robinson's number. Rivera grandfathered the number through his career, and after he retires, no other player in Major League Baseball will wear those two digits. Venable, Jerko, and Amarista, the Padres' final hope, with a 3-0 deficit staring at San Diego. Venable double in 3 trips. The flash photography with that first pitch from Rivera, just like sparkling diamonds throughout Petco Park.
The challenge for these hitters is getting inside that cutter.
Fly ball, right field. Granderson has the first out. Yeah, they're Yankee icons. Derek Jeter, 19 seasons. Rivera, 19, all in the same uniform. Next in line, Todd Helton with the Rockies, 17 years of seniority.
Well, you know better than anybody, Tony. You don't see that very much in the game anymore, and you marvel at that.
Well, you don't, but there'll always be those guys. There'll always be guys that stay with their respective teams. Barry Larkin went into the Hall of Fame last year. He was Cincinnati Red. Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera. Todd Helton.
1 ball and 1 strike to Jerko. Struck out twice and popped to short.
Well, to do it consistently with 1 pitch amazes us all that have tried to hit off this cutter. He pitches off his fastball, he uses his cutter, and you almost want to be right-handed because it goes away from you.
Fly ball to center field. Gardner retreats. 2 away.
I agree with that. I think being right-handed is a little bit easier.
You get your hands extended. But if he gives you the opportunity.
I was going to say, he recognizes that too, and he isn't afraid to throw that inside cutter either.
Amarista stands in the way of a Yankee shutout. Padres have been shut out just 6 times this year. Loop to left, and that'll fall foul off the warning path.
You can see from the left hand, it's so hard to pull your hands inside and stay inside this pitch. Watch this pitch and the action. It's velocity and a cutting action that makes it very difficult.
And the Padres down to their final strike.
And if he makes a rare mistake, you better capitalize on it.
And with flourish, he strikes out Amarista to end the game. Number 35 this season. Number 643. The all-time save leader, and the Yankees have shut out the Padres 3-0. Mike?
When we see you on the postgame show, we're going to show you Mark Kotze's mic'd up segment. We were able to put a microphone on him before batting practice. You'll hear all of that. You're going to hear from Buddy Black and our instructional pitching inside and turning on those pitches as well.